So, we all know the stereotypes that vegans are preachy and cult-like when it comes to their dietary choices. Luckily, I'm not a vegan, or even fully vegetarian, so hopefully this presentation doesn't come across as too preachy. Now, why do I think that we should reduce our animal product consumption? First and foremost, it's the environmental impact. As I'm sure many of you have heard, cows are responsible for producing methane, a dangerous greenhouse gas, but you may not know that according to the Georgetown Environmental Law Review, animal agriculture accounts for as much as 30% of human greenhouse gas emissions. As if this wasn't bad enough, according to the United States Energy Information Administration, livestock are responsible for up to 65% of human nitrous oxide emissions. Nitrous oxide being cited as up to 296 times, or having 296 times the global warming potential of CO2. So we all know that global warming is a big problem, and reducing meat is it's a very easy way to reduce your personal carbon footprint and just slow climate change. If you ever take a wildlife conservation class here or any conservation biology class, they'll be very eager to tell you how reducing your meat consumption is the biggest factor, or the biggest thing that you can do to reduce your carbon footprint. The world's meat consumption has been steadily on the rise for the past century and shows no signs of slowing down. This increase in consumption has led to large swaths of land being needed to clear to raise crops for livestock. The World Bank cites animal agriculture as being responsible for up to 91% of Amazon rainforest deforestation. This is both for the livestock themselves and the corn usually that's grown to feed them. Usually this clearing of land is called a slash and burn clearing, and basically they just set the forest on fire, which not only destroys the habitat, but produces massive amounts of carbon dioxide that are then leached into the atmosphere, furthering the impact that meat has on climate change. The Amazon basin is responsible for consuming over 2.2 billion tons of carbon every year, according to LiveScience.com, which means that not only are you putting CO2 into the atmosphere by burning the forests, but you're also taking away their potential to filter the CO2 out of the atmosphere. So it's a lose-lose-lose situation here. Like, there's no upside. So not only is our forests are not the only non-renewable resource that animal agriculture is rapidly eating up. We also have to worry about water. Missed that one. Okay. According to the United States Geological Survey, animal agriculture accounts for up to 76 trillion gallons of water being used every year. For reference, the Ecosystem Journal cites animal agriculture as being used, as using up to 30% of our world's fresh water. This is a resource that is not renewable. We're not ever getting more fresh water in our life, probably in the lifespan of the human race. It's mostly trapped up in the glaciers, and we're slowly eating away at it, and animal agriculture is a very large user of water that we really don't need. We don't need to have that extra strain on this resource. In fact, according to Cornell University, the United States could feed up to 800 million people with the grain that we grow to feed to our cows, which it just seems to me to be not only a colossal waste of water, but a colossal waste of resources that could be going to places where they're better needed. Hopefully, okay, yeah, so, yeah, to put this into perspective, we're producing over twice the amount of grain necessary to feed the entire United States population, and it's just going to our cows. I don't know about you guys, but that seems fairly ridiculous to me. Anyway, so not only is it's destroying our forests, but our water, which are both non-renewable resources. Moving moving on. Hopefully you guys all remember my last speech about the health impacts of animal product consumption, but as a refresher, animal product consumption is highly linked to the development of coronary heart disease and cancer, which are the leading two causes of death in the United States. So, according to the CDC Foundation, the United States stands to lose $818 billion by 2030 for spending on cancer research and cancer patients. Not to mention the $158 billion that the National Institute of Health estimates we would be spending on coronary heart disease by the year 2020. This seems to me to be a massive drain on our country's resources, and the reduction of animal product consumption would likely reduce the amount that we have to spend on cancer and coronary heart disease, because a vegan diet promotes not only not acquiring these diseases, but fighting the symptoms of these diseases. So, to recap a little bit, animal agriculture is responsible for global warming, deforestation, water wasting, and reducing our animal product consumption will drastically reduce the United States' environmental impact, lower the government spending on healthcare, and create a grain surplus that could be better used offshore. This is why I believe that we should strive for a reduction in animal product consumption. It's not that hard of a life decision or a dietary decision to make, and it has such a large impact that is spread out over so many different areas of both conservation, fiscal spending, and personal health. So I really urge you guys to give it a try and reduce your animal